On the brisk autumn morning of October 14, 1996, 10-year-old Lily Cartwright left her family's modest home in the quiet town of Millers Hollow, Pennsylvania, to walk the 3 blocks to Jefferson Elementary School. She never made it. A popular 5th grader with a love for sketching and tree climbing, Lily was reported missing just after noon when her teacher called her parents to ask about her absence. For weeks, the small community was gripped by fear. Volunteers combed the woods, divers scoured the nearby river, and helicopters flew overhead. But no clues turned up. There were no known witnesses, no signs of struggle. Just a child who seemed to vanish without a trace. Local law enforcement pursued multiple leads, neighbors, family acquaintances, and a few registered offenders in the area, but everything came up short. By 1998, the case went cold, and Lily's name was added to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children database. Her parents, Wendy and Thomas Cartwright, never moved away. If Lily comes home, Wendy would say every year, "We want her to find us." Fast forward to 2023, 27 years later. A private land development company began clearing ground for a luxury housing project near Silver Ridge, a forested area 12 miles from Millers Hollow. During excavation, a backhoe unearthed a shallow grave. Inside were skeletal remains wrapped in an old quilt. A rusted silver bracelet was found beside the bones, the same bracelet Lily's mother had given her for her 10th birthday. Local police halted all construction. The remains were sent to the state crime lab in Harrisburg. Forensic anthropologists, using isotope analysis, confirmed the remains were of a girl approximately 10 years old at the time of death. Dental records and mitochondrial DNA confirmed what the Cartwrights had feared for almost 3 decades: the remains were Lily's. The case was reopened immediately. Cold case detective Janice Heller, a 19-year veteran, led the task force. "Finding Lily gave us the chance to ask new questions with tools we never had in 1996, she said in a press conference. The break came through familial DNA, a relatively new technique that uses public genealogy databases. A partial DNA sample from Lily's remains was matched to a distant relative of Peter Doyle, a former volunteer who had helped with the initial search in 1996. He had lived less than a mile from Lily's school at the time and had no prior convictions. He had since moved to Ohio, living under the radar. In late 2023, detectives approached Peter Doyle under the guise of a routine missing persons investigation. When asked to voluntarily provide a DNA sample, Doyle became nervous and abruptly ended the interview. This was enough for law enforcement to seek a warrant. The DNA match was conclusive. Investigators then revisited storage archives and found that Doyle had never been properly vetted during the original investigation. Old notes mentioned a neighbor who saw Lily talking to a man in a green truck, the same type Doyle owned in 1996. That truck was later sold and scrapped, but a single receipt from a scrapyard, found in Doyle's old storage unit, placed him with the vehicle just days after Lily vanished. Doyle was arrested in January 2024. His trial began in September, nearly a year after Lily's remains were discovered. Prosecutors used the DNA evidence, timeline inconsistencies, and witness testimony from neighbors and former acquaintances. They painted a chilling picture. Doyle, who had no children of his own, had lured Lily with promises of showing her a puppy and taken her to the woods. Though Doyle pleaded not guilty, the jury took just 4 hours to return a guilty verdict. In October 2024, exactly 28 years to the day after Lily disappeared, Peter Doyle was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. The trial drew national attention. Outside the courthouse, hundreds of Millers Hollow residents gathered, many holding candles or wearing purple ribbons, Lily's favorite color. Inside the courtroom, Wendy Cartwright clutched her daughter's now faded bracelet, tears in her eyes. "She was only 10, Wendy said during her victim impact statement. 10. She didn't get a chance to grow up, to chase her dreams, or to come home. But we can finally stop wondering. We can finally say goodbye." Detective Heller, reflecting on the case, added, "This wasn't just about solving a mystery. It was about giving a family an answer and a community the justice it had long been denied." In memory of Lily Cartwright, 1986 to 1996. Gone but never forgotten. Justice may sleep, but it never dies.